Okay. Now I can go back to any of the cells. You can use your mouse to just click on that cell, or use this up or down arrow to choose the, move this cell on top or bottom. So for example, you want print A to be appearing on top of this. You click on that cell and use this arrow mark to move that cell above this type A. Okay, just to change the sequence if you want, right? And of course, you can use the cursor to keep your cursor on any of the screens, and then just change anything if you want. For example, here I'm saying for 15.75. Okay. Now I need, if I change this, okay, and if I just say print of C, I will not get a new value because I have still not run this cell again. I made a change in one of the statements. So after this, making this change, I didn't execute this particular cell at all. So in this case, what happens? I'm not getting the new value, right? It is still giving me 15. So in order to reflect this change, you have to run this. Now you look at the numbering here. So that's why the numbering are going to be of help to you. So you can see that this number is now 7. Now if I run this print C, I will get the new value called 15.75, which is the number 8. So I can also say type of C and look at the result. Python is giving the result as float. Okay. So we didn't declare that A is integer or B is float, right? Or C is a float and anywhere, right? But Python's interpreter is intelligent enough to understand and identify that if I say 15.75, then the data type associated with C is float, and the value that C stores is a float type, 15.75. What happens if I want to run print type of A? Yeah, so you see, you can always explore things. Okay, so already type of A is giving you whether it is float or int or something. So if you type print of type of A, sometimes, so I mean, you need to understand that there are slightly some differences. Okay, so when I say type of A, it is only giving me int or float. But when you try to print that, you will be getting something called as class int. Okay, so to understand this, we need to go some concepts beyond. So after that, you will understand what is a class and other stuff. So for now, just use type of A. Okay, and make sure that you use the brackets and all, because I think so. If you just say print A like this, okay, print space A, this will give you a syntax error saying that there is no brackets since we are using Python 3, right? So if you already have done some course with Python 2, then please forget all those things that you have learned, because Python 3, the syntax will be slightly different than Python 2, and the error. So we will also be talking about the different types of errors. Yeah. So here we are seeing that if I say print space A, then it says you are doing a syntax error. So what is meaning of the syntax error? So as I said, syntax means it is a standard set of rules that are already defined. So you cannot change that, right? So in this case, print requires a brackets means it is also giving you the error, right? The reason to look into this error is because you should understand what the error is happening and then how to avoid the error. Okay, so that should be there in your mind. So when I say it says syntax error, just look at the error. It says missing parenthesis in call to print, and it is also hinting that did you mean print of A. So see the error messages. So it's very clear and straightforward. So you have missed some brackets. So you need to go back and change print of A. Okay, so that is fine. Now coming to the question posted by someone. So you have this C as 15.75 already, right? So now when I say print of C, you get the value as 15.75. Okay. Now we are talking about the data types, right? So we already saw two types now. One is integer and another one is float. Okay. Now I can, as I said, you can also create a variable called let's say Z and say this is 25L or 25 capital L. You can use small L or capital L. So I think in the new version you will be not able to use this syntax. I will come back to the long integer later on. So we discussed about the long integers and other data types like even strings. So I can say Z equal to hi within double quotes, and type of Z will be string. Okay, so there are different types of strings here. Okay, so how are we going to convert that? So as someone asked, initially I declared a variable as 15.75. Now I want to convert this into an integer. Okay, so when you want to convert this into an integer, you should understand that you are going to lose out some information, because integer means it should not have the decimal point at all. It will be only having a the whole number alone, correct? So there is a concept called as typecasting. Okay, so I'm just putting that as a heading so that you can see that this is a new topic that we are discussing. So typecasting or type conversion, you can call it as any of the two things. So typecasting or type conversion is a process in which you will be able to convert one data type into another data type. Okay, but understand that this is not going to be true always. Okay, so that is one thing that you should be aware of, because let's say you create a variable called z equal to hi. So hi is a string. Okay, so in no point you will be able to convert a string into a number. Okay, so that is what you should be keeping in your mind. Whereas you can convert an integer to a float. So you declare a equal to 5. You want to convert that into a float. So your a will become 5.0. So when you convert an integer to a float, just that there will be a 0.0 getting added, right? But when you convert a float to an integer, you will lose out the decimal points. Okay, so here I have the variable called c, which has the value called 15.75. Now, when I going to typecast this into an integer as someone asked, then you will get the value called only 15. Okay, so there is no rounding off or something is happening. It is just cutting down on the decimal places, and it's going to give you only the whole number. So how to do that? It's pretty simple. So when you say typecasting or type conversion, now you should manually use to what you want to convert. So you already know that type of C is a float. So you want to convert a float to an integer now. To do that, you have to use this function called int, and then say int of c. So when you say int of c and run it, you can get the integer value of c alone. Okay, but doing so does not it is not going to change the value of c totally, correct? When I say int of c, I am only getting the 15, which is the whole number, but this particular statement is not going to affect my variable at any point of time. Okay, the value of c is still going to be 15.75, whereas if I say int of c, then I am going to get only the integer part of this number. Similarly, your a is a number, right? So I'm just giving a. You don't even have to say print a, but when you want to explicitly print, you should use print statement. So this is just like a shortcut. When you say a, the value of a is directly getting appearing here. Now, if I say float of a, okay, because a is an integer, now I want a to be a float. When I say float of a, you can see that it is giving number as 5.0. Okay, which means it is indicating that a has been converted into a integer. From integer to float. So now let's go on and do some operators. So the arithmetic operators now. Okay, so you already know the functionality of plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So let's go and do that. I already have a equal to 5. Now I change the value to 5.0, right? So if you see the value of a, it is 5.0, and if you see the value of b, it is 10. So I can say that I can create a new variable called result and say result equal to a plus b. Okay. Now this statement will add. So the plus is an operator which adds the two operands called a and b and stores the result back into this variable called as result. Okay, now I need to run this cell and then say print result. And see here, this is another beauty with Python. Okay, because a is a float data type, whereas b is an integer data type. So in case of any other programming languages like your C, C++, or Java, you have to first make sure that all the variables that you're adding are in the same data type. Okay, or of the same data type. For example, a should also be integer, b should also be integer. Only then this line will run in other programming language. But in Python, since a is a float, so b is an integer. So it just adds a and b and automatically converts your b also to float, so that it stores the result. So it doesn't convert the b actually, but it will during the operation alone it dynamically converts. Okay, if I print b now, it's going to be still an integer value called 10. But when this operation is getting performed, what happens is 5.0 plus 10 cannot happen directly, right? So during the process, dynamically the value of b gets converted to 10.0, and then 10.0 plus 5.0 get added up, and that gets stored into a result as a floating type. So now your type of result will be a float. Okay. So when you add a float and an integer, the result will be always float. Okay. But when you add two integers, the result will also be integer. If you add two floats, the result will be float. So if you add one integer and one float, the result will be a float. Okay. So yeah, we will also see what is this concept called as. Okay, it's called as operator overloading, but we will see this concept in detail during the maybe a couple of weeks later on. So when we see the concepts of object-oriented programming, we can see that. Now, the next one is, so far what I have been doing is, we have been declaring the variable and assigning the value to it manually. Okay. Now I want a user to give the value to me. Okay. So in that case, how should I go about? So that's what we are going to see the next one.